All right, the show's about to leave the rails, y'all. I don't know how to maintain control here. We've got District Attorney Hillar Moore in the house. We've got Mayor President Sid Edwards in the house, and we've got Sheriff Sid Gautreaux on the hotline. So we got a pair of Sids. How's everybody doing this morning? I tell you what, Sheriff Gautreaux, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Brian. Doing fine. How are you?
Doing very well. Hillar, how are you? Mayor President Edwards, how are you?
Outstanding.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Y'all are all converging today. We got a couple of different things to talk about, but I would be remiss if we didn't lead with what's happening on Saturday, because everybody's got some level of interest in what's happening on Saturday. That is, when we go to the polls on Saturday, there will be a millage to fund District Attorney Hillar Moore's office. Sheriff Gautreaux, can I start with you as to why this is important?
Sure. I can tell you that Hillar's in dire straits with his office, and I've known this for years. We've been working through things together to try to help him as much as we can, but he and his office really need this. We're short of prosecutors, and we have a big case log backed up because of it, and he's got to have the money to move the wheels of justice. It's just the way it is now is taking 2-3 years sometimes or longer to get somebody through the system, and it's simply because he just doesn't have enough money to operate, number one, and he doesn't have enough prosecutors.
District Attorney Moore, following up on that, when the system is that backlogged, what are the effects and the ramifications that affect Sheriff Gautreaux's world?
It delays justice, and the officers unfortunately see someone they put in jail let out of jail and back on the street again, only to be rearrested. And our problem is compounded for really absolutely a good reason, and that is the Sheriff's Office Narcotics Division and SCAT team, particularly over the last 3 and 4 years, have made outstanding, tremendous, large drug cases involving fentanyl, guns, and really bad guys that are very difficult to prosecute, not because of the facts of the case. The facts are there. They make great cases. It's the amount of drugs, the amount of people that are arrested. And when you have that many defendants in a case, very hard to move that case along with a staff that's very short. We're the biggest parish in the state since Katrina, and we have the lowest amount of assistant DAs compared to any other city our size, particularly Jefferson and Orleans. We have 54 ADAs compared to Jefferson at 75 and Orleans at 83. And particularly when you compare Jefferson Parish had 18 murders compared to 105 of ours last year. It's hard to keep up with that. And I think that it filters down to the street, and the people know when you're able to do justice swiftly, and they know when you're not able to, and they take advantage of it.
And we get the press releases from the sheriff's office when you see the big spread of all the drugs, all the money, all the guns that all comes in. It's important to remember that's just the arrest part of this, correct? Right, Sheriff Gautreaux?
That's right. That's exactly right.
And then to take it from there, how far does this trickle down? I mean, is this something that I don't know how the best way to put this question. Is this something that the criminal element knows and understands and uses to game the system?
No doubt. Defense lawyers know, people know. You can hear them on the street talk about what they're able to do and not do. And so it is absolutely, we're operating on a 1970 budget in 2025. And it just does not work. Also, I've lost so many employees that are really valued employee with a lot of time, a lot of service to the Attorney General's office and the United States Attorney's office as judges. And so we are not only short-staffed, but we're very young.
Let's bring Mayor President Edwards in on this. Coach, you've had to make a lot of tough calls lately, budgetary calls lately. I would imagine that what's coming up on Saturday plays into the would help lighten the load a little bit.
Oh, it would big time. And I'm echoing what the sheriff and our DA said is Hillar just said it, operating in the 1970s. And I found that across city parish in a lot of areas. It's just that this happens to be an area that I personally ran on, and that's public safety. I think it's critical. And I echo again that the folks out here that are committing these crimes, especially the violent crimes, they know the game. And they know that the bad actors know the game. And my whole thing with a mom and a sister and granddaughters and a wife. I think Saturday's vote is as important as any we've had in quite a while.
You got a little firsthand look yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Your office was out in the streets yesterday, left at the walking around Bel Air High, around that area yesterday evening.
We had a wonderful evening. And Brian, the thing with this crime deal, there's so many tentacles on it. Saturday's a piece. It's a big piece. But everything from social programs to getting in the community to more law enforcement officers on the street, all the stuff, blah, blah, blah. Right? So now we're working hard on trying to do that. And the way I look at Saturday for Hillar and those guys is for the cost of a cup of coffee a month.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a big bite out of what we're trying to do to keep Baton Rouge and our entire parish safe.
District Attorney Moore, follow up on that cost part of this, because I think that's an important role here, an important part here, is that the number of times we've gone to the polls to vote for things we've wanted.
Yes.
Now we're going to the polls to make a decision on something we need. Cost-wise, what kind of revenue is this going to generate, and what is like our individual cost going to be?
So the coach said a cup of coffee is probably a little bit less than that, but it's maybe 3 raw eggs.
He drinks really bad coffee though, so
it'll generate 24 million. We'll realize 21 of that because of the sheriff as the tax collector.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the Bible, he gets his part of it. So,
right on the top.
But I also give up the 8.7 million that the city parish has traditionally given me every year. So the mayor now and the city council will get that money back. And the question is, how can he use that money by public defender, police, sheriff, coroner, which is good for him to have.
Actually saw a story about the public defender's office being in your corner on this one, because this would be kind of a domino effect here. If we can pool money towards your office, you can kick money over to his office, and his office can help fund the public defender's office.
Because you don't want to have an outsized DA versus the public defender. We go against the public defender 75% of the time.
Right.
So they have to be adequately funded as well. And hopefully this will allow the mayor and the city council to do that.
What does 24 million buy us? It's just in rough terms.
We believe that we will be able to staff up to be equal to Jefferson and Orleans in the number of ADAs and support staff. So probably 15 more assistant DAs, which is huge for us, plus the staffing, analysts, investigators, secretaries, the ability to download cell phones, technology that we just can't keep up with now. So it'll put us on par with those other two smaller parishes.
Sheriff Gautreaux, let's talk about this. What would be added to District Attorney Moore's office? How does that help you in your fight on the front end? Because I mean, once you've made the arrest, your job isn't over at that point. So talk to me a little bit about the working with Hillar's office and how that coordination helps get us across the finish line.
Well, it's tremendous. The way Hillar has worked with us over the years, I mean, it's been really great. We have a great working relationship, and he mentioned our narcotics, which is part of our gang intelligence unit, which is also, we brought in our street crime unit to work in it, and our intelligence group as well. But it really, it's discouraging. Not that we're not going to do our job. We constantly do our job, and that's evident by what you see in the news every week, what these guys are doing. But it's like Hillar said, it bogs down the whole system. And of course, I wear 3 hats. As Hillar said in the Bible, I'm the tax collector, but I want to comment on that. I am not the tax assessor. I am just the tax collector.
The assessor was not in the Bible. The sheriff was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made it better.
It doesn't make it any better. My wife is one of my biggest complaints whenever we get our notice as well. But really, helping us. I wear 3 hats, tax collector, but I also have responsibility for corrections and the criminal office. But it helps us move people through the system quicker, which is a benefit to everybody involved. People, victims of these crimes, as well as us and the DA's office. And, it helps us move people through, rather than sit there for years waiting to go to court. This ought to allow us it will allow us to get more traffic moving through there, where people are not just sitting there and we're having to clothe and feed and house them until they go to court. So and it's a big plus. And Hillar, like I say, we have a wonderful working relationship with Hillar, and he's worked with our guys and gals throughout all the cases we have, not just narcotics and stuff, but that it's very refreshing, and it's very very encouraging to us, because with the way Hillar's work with us. And I think this can just, if this passes, which I hope it does, and I urge everybody to help make Hillar's dream come true with this, and get out and vote Saturday. But it helps every one of us in the criminal justice system. If I'm not doing my job, or we're not capable of doing our job from finances or something, it's all a part of the wheel, and it slows things down tremendously. And it's the same thing with Hillar. If he can't bring these people to justice, get them in courtroom, it does the same with his office as well, and it affects all of us. And at the end of the day, it affects the public.
Mayor President Edwards, Coach, Sheriff Gautreaux is one end of law enforcement here in Baton Rouge, but within the city limits, there's help to be had there as well.
Yes, of course, we were all together with BRPD Chief, TJ Morse yesterday, and his guys likewise are doing a yeoman's job. They're working their tail off. They're out there. They are energized. And here again, it's very discouraging and disappointing, when they're consistently making arrests, and these people are back on the street, sometimes within days. And that's a whole other show. Our judicial
he comes on once a month, so we'll talk about that with him. But it's important to note that when you're looking at that budget, when you're looking at a finite amount of dollars, right, getting this level of help is going to go a long way, not just on the parish level, but at the city level as well.
I mean, it's going to be a tremendous boost. And here again, simply put, just simple words, it affects public safety.
Can y'all hang out for about 10 more minutes? Can I keep y'all till 9 o'clock? Sure. I know I promised you'd be up by 8:50. I don't want to jam anybody up. All right. So we got Your Money Now coming up in just a quick second. After Your Money Now, we'll check traffic, and then we'll come back. I want to talk about just a couple more quick numbers on what's on the ballot on May 3rd. And also want to spend a minute or two talking about what's coming up the day after that on May 4th. That's coming your way in just a little bit.